Hey everybody, and welcome to Jaraci Cup 6, that's what it is. Oh, it's a base 8, base 10 joke. Anyway, going to be continuing coverage of the upper bracket now. It's going to be MarchWaden versus KapitanPink in the round of 16. Conaf versus Coalition. I'm pretty hyped for this one, because I'm always happy to see... Wait a minute, that's Moose. Oh, I could almost have guessed by the fact that Moose is in your name. Anyway. But yeah. I'm excited to see this because MarchWaden is a player who I've been following pretty closely. Fellow land mammal. Yeah, mooses and cows they're pretty similar. At a hotel at midnight after a few drinks. Nice. That's how you want to do it. That's the best way to win. KapitanPink, of course, we've seen if you play 3v3s a lot, I believe he does mostly those. But we've seen him in the scene for a while. MarchWaden, total newcomer, but he's been playing his heart out. He's quite good for how new he is. I'm interested to see what he does, and I'm very happy to give him some tips if I can. Soul Chip Fab on the queue for him now. So it looks like it's going to be a little bit of early pressure for him. LAV Fab going to be started for KapitanPink here. Into SC second. Yay! You guys know what I think about this build. You guys know what I think about it very well. Not good. I'll mention again the reasoning for it, though, as I did last time. So, obviously, if you tech into LAV Fab, and then you start the Sport Cruiser, like, the Sport Cruiser's on the queue, it's building. So you can't build LAVs, and the Sport Cruiser's going to come out later. So if you went SC first instead, you would get both the Support Cruiser and the LAVs first. So it's always better in every case. There's no argument for this build at all. Like, it just is not good. So hopefully someday we'll stop seeing that, but that's alright. AV Fab gonna be started for KapitanPink. He does move on to his second base. He has the eco advantage here, so MarchWaden wants to get some damage done as he moves in with that PC. We kept our Sport Cruiser as well for KapitanPink. Probe comes out here. He's gonna see everything he needs to know. Wants to back away. A little slow on the micro there, so that probe is gonna die. Will it not? I think with a quick drop you can get it almost about at the same time, but the thing is, I'm still not convinced that because, like, obviously you're going to be behind an eco for sure at least, but I'm pretty sure that you'll have LAVs coming out faster if you go for SC first, truly, rather than SC like second, I guess. This base runner here going for the extract. I think this is a bit of bait if MarchWaden goes for it, because I don't think he can catch this. And what he wants to do, obviously this base runner is not at the main. So this is something that Discara would pull his hair out for. In fact, where is Discara? Did he leave the chat? No, he's still there. Maybe he'll come back here so that he can see why he needs to pull his hair out. But, well, yeah, there he is. Obviously, if this base runner leaves the main base, it is going to get this extraction, right? So that's fine. But what he's going to give up, though, is this safety on the main. So what MarchWaden could have done here if he wanted to was just drive in over here and then just, like, kill all these salvagers for free. Or at least, at the very least, he's going to pull the carrier back. So, yeah, he does get the extraction, but, like, the potential for massive loss here would have been really, really big. So that's something when you watch the top tier you'll notice. If they go SC first, they leave that base runner by the Sport Cruiser unless they retire it, but that's kind of an Orbnet thing, so... Definitely something that can be improved on, I think, there. As it stands, though, this is not going to go well for KapitanPink, because obviously this is quite a numbers advantage here, but we don't have... Oh, no, we do. We have Armor 1 on MarchWaden, which is exactly what you want to see. Smoke is there to buy some time. Probe retire builds for 2 base timings. Oh. That seems pretty delectable, not gonna lie. 2 base timings are like my favorite, other than just like all-out rushes. They're very fun to cast. Not very fun to play against. But they're very fun to cast. The Soul Chips here trading very, very well. They're gonna get a ton of AAVs out. They've pulled these guys off the line too, so like you gotta realize the mining time being lost here is really, really big. And it's not like this pressure is gonna go away now just because the carrier showed up. So the only thing that MarchWaden is lacking is like a follow-up into eco, but like honestly, does he need it? I mean, this is horrendous damage. Ref mode does come out now. This PC gonna be headed back home, and hopefully these assault chips just kind of stay around. In fact, he's got so many numbers. Like, this is a lot of assault chips. He can leave like 4 of them here, and then like 3 of them go over there. I picked 4 of them to go over here, but whatever. Go over here and start attacking the second base. He's going to be in a great position, because what does KapitanPink do to like hold that off? I mean, it's a terrible place to be. So this is a good start for MarchWaden, and I'm definitely a fan of how this game is going. Well, I don't think so, because the longer he sits around this carrier, the more damage he's going to take. Sometimes, like, the threat of damage incoming is actually more powerful than actually trying to get that damage itself. What he should have done for sure, though, is split some of these guys. You can imagine if, like, if 4 of them came in here, the same thing would have happened. The carrier blocked them and they had to back away. But then 3 of them could have just come over here in the back line and just been, like, chonking these guys down. So, for sure, I think he can do a little bit better pressuring with these guys, but, like, he's gotten good damage already. And Armor 3 is coming out, too, so before too long... In fact, look, he's got a window right now, actually. He can just drive right through, and he sees it. Okay, so he's going in. Assault chips, of course, quite a bit faster than carriers, so this run-by is going to work just fine. Obviously, opportunity for carrier block is here, actually. I didn't think the carrier would be here in time. But it's not going to be too strong. Actually, no, it's not a carrier block at all, is it? Well, yeah, look at that. Amazingly, even from that far away, he manages to neutralize their DPS. Guys, carrier block is insanely strong. Like, you have to learn how to do this if you play Coalition. He kind of stops, though, so the assault chips start firing again. And that support cruiser is going to go down. This is Armor 3, by the way, so these things take a long time to kill. And, yeah, MarchWaden feeling pretty good about this, I would say. Second PC is on the way for him. And, he can really go whatever he wants at this point. Not to mention, he pretty much has, like, permanent vision on this carrier, so he will always know what his opponent's tech is. And, Descara would be going, aye, again, because this is a mistake that he sees all the time. He's always trying to rectify. When your opponent has got this kind of pressure on you, you really need to just be on one base. Yeah, in fact, that's going to be the GG from KapitanPink. You really just need to conglomerate onto one base, because, like, if you can't hold 2, you're not getting anything for it, you know what I mean? You're just going to lose salvagers, so... Really good for MarchWaden to see his opening there and take it. Let's hop into game 2, shall we? Get to be on the Shallows. Same factions, of course. Faction swapping not allowed in the best of 3 series. Or best of 5, that is. KapitanPink, by the way, I believe was the lower seed here, so he had the map pick, but I might be wrong about that.
All ships. Multiple artifact signals have been detected within target range. Fleet Group 1 assigned. We're cleared to move. Weapon systems online.
Looks like it's a base runner retire here for MarchWaden. Puts one on RUs. Looks like this is going to be pretty classic Shallows ref mode first. Obviously, normally you wouldn't want to retire the base runner, but Shallows be like that. It's a very defensible map, just owing to these high ground positions, so it's pretty common to see people go eco here and be a little bit more greedy than they would on normal maps. And there we go, it's ref mode first. I'm liking the versatility already. It's clearly not a one trick, which is nice to see. I guess I might as well take this opportunity to talk a bit about, like, my idea for the Shallows rework. Obviously, the problem is that it's so easy to defend, because if you need to, you go back to your main base. Because every rush, this is something important to know, every rush strategy relies on holding your opponent off the second base, but also doing damage to the main, or at least holding them off the second long enough to expand to your second, right? And on the Shallows, this isn't really possible, because you're never going to damage the main. Like, the main is almost untouchable unless your opponent really throws. So, as a result, like, rushes can push you off of your second, yeah? But they can't really hold it either, because obviously there's high ground positions leading down to it. I say can't. I mean, they can, you know, like it happens sometimes. There's also kind of a funny idea for build that I've had involving like range calibration, sitting on this hill over here, because it can like reach all the way to the second, but I'm using a middle mouse button. Seems OP. That's the thing for panning, and then right mouse button, of course, just to rotate. Oh, and then this is backspace twice. Anyway, so my ideas for reworking the shallows is basically revolved around making it possible to attack the opponent in the early game, but still retaining kind of the feel of the map, which is that it's all about like controlling the high ground positions. So I'm thinking obviously the spawns need to be moved. Maybe there's something to be done about having the spawns like here or something, but I'd rather just put them like up on this hill. So one player spawns here, one player spawns here, and then have the extraction zones out here. And then your main base would obviously be here somewhere. Your second base could be like there, and your third could be here. And then I'm thinking of having like a fourth base. Have a fourth base over here somewhere that has only RUs in it. But I don't know. We'll have to see, obviously. That's like a dream that I've had for a while, but no one's really sure if it would actually be good at all. That's my idea, though, for the shallows. And then probably artifact spawns stay the same. Or maybe they move to like here, here, and here. AV Fab finishes for KapitanPink. And Assault Chip Tech is going to be done before too long for MarchWaden. Actually, I wish he'd had like a second PC already, but he's going for Sandskimmer rating instead. Because obviously on this map, you can really expand your eco super hard. That's why I felt confident spending a bunch of time talking about like a new layout for it, because like it generally tends to be a bit of a tiring map at the beginning. Oh my gosh, yes, it's going to be a straight BC rush. All right, you know I like that. So KapitanPink pulling out the stops here. I do expect him to go for another SC though. He does get that artifact, which is nice. But yeah, being on 3 base is just like so easy on this map. Oh yeah, that's true as well, the party bus. I mean, obviously you want another SC so you can unlock the carrier. Even if you want to do like a 2 base play, so you can run out with like the party bus. And we do have another PC on the way for MarchWaden. Obviously, I'm a big fan of that. This one he can put on the main and have the carrier rotate out to this base. Seems pretty good. That's actually something we usually like to do already at this point, like have the carrier here and then have the PC back up there. There's quite a lot of skims out on the field, which is nice. He shouldn't really have any more artifacts get extracted on him. But, you know, it's the shallows. It's a very defensive map. He's not really going to be able to do any damage with these skims. And he'll be taking into Siege Cruiser Fab instead. But definitely both players kind of playing for the long game, going straight to the end game techs. So that's kind of fun to see. Or rather, it's quite boring to see, but it will be fun to see how the matchup turns out. When they do end up finally fighting each other. Welcome to the grasslands of Karak, you know what I'm saying? I wonder how far the clipping goes on this map. Like, if it's possible to use those outside areas. Oh boy, what is this? MarchWaden doesn't know what map he's playing, man. He's gonna try to make some kind of an attack go, but he just ends up losing 2 skims for nothing, really. Another thing you gotta note, right? Like, maybe he loses 3. Oh, narrowly escapes in his life there. This base here, the resources are on this side of the wreck, so if the skims run in like that, they're gonna get wreck blocked, which is really bad too. So like you need to use V-move and like hold them kind of like in this formation right here. Otherwise they don't actually shoot at all when they're moving around the wreck. Playing Galazian is hard, folks. It's not an easy life for the Galazians in the world. SC's on the way now for KapitanPink. Seems a little late. Because he does have BC Fab done. He wants to be building those right now. Yeah, here come those 2 SCs I was talking about. Again, he could have had this earlier though, so I definitely would have liked to see that, but it's okay. And MarchWaden going for another PC, and then he'll finally start making some Con F Siege. So obviously, like BC's coming out at this timing, that would have been really strong, but KapitanPink's not going to go for it because you know he didn't build those SCs fast enough. So it's a bit unfortunate, but you know it happens. And both players taking missile ships, missile batteries. What were the bans if not this one? I don't actually know. They didn't include an info.txt, so unfortunately I can't tell you that information. Shooting on a 2.5 base and go. Yeah, I agree. Because if you tech BCs that early, it's very surprising. And so you have the party bus strategy available to you, which by the way, when we say party bus, what we mean is that like you stack the BCs in the carrier, and so you drive up to your opponent, and you like have the back end facing out, of course. You like drive up to here, he's like, oh look, a carrier, and then 2 BCs pop out, and he's like, oh, I'm dead. And you just like win the game from there. Takes some coordination, but it's very powerful. Especially in Joke Patch, where BCs are very slow. MarchWaden gonna have to pull off the line here. Kana Siege is out though. I mean, he's actually gotten 2 salves already. MarchWaden is a little bit slow to pull away there. But you don't imagine he's gonna get much more here, really. And this Kana Siege should be able to mop it all up. And yes, he is going 4 base, which I always like to see. This is the one map where you can go 4 base. I feel like you've almost got to. Now, of course, being the omnipotent caster, I'd love to see him leave his carrier in this position here, but because in this position he's gonna have much more time to like throw cruise missiles out. And see, this is exactly what he wants to do. So he just comes around into the back line. Jetpack's getting thrown out here. I like it. I like the feist. Again, look at the wreck blocking though. This guy doesn't shoot hardly at all. That's just moving around that wreck. But he's gonna clean up a bunch of salvagers over here. On patch, I'm sure you can, because I'm not sure if you can triple produce railguns on 3 base. Actually, as either faction. Like, these things are just so freaking expensive. Uh-oh, this kind of siege wants to back away. So you never want to let the BC get into range here, because you have the range advantage, especially with that carrier. Oh wait, is that true? Yeah, I think that's true. You might not have the range up here, though. BC goes down there, though. Smoke popping, of course, here I think is a little bit of a trap, because obviously the Connev carrier is just going to dunk missiles on you, although he doesn't seem to have it powered in there, so... Well, he wants to power up those missiles instead. But Rail Fab is on the way, and if MarchWaden just continues to make Connev Siege, I think he's going to be okay. And he's already building missile ships too, which is, I think, pretty wise. Obviously, VCs are pretty slow. You can almost guarantee you're going to be landing those missiles, like the missile barrages. Looks like AVs are here to finally clean up this backstab. Actually, it did a lot less damage than I was expecting. It's kind of surprising. Pretty good kiting job here too, just keeping that one kind of siege that's wounded out of the line, but he definitely, yeah, he wants to power up the missiles here. EMP, oh, that's a fun type. Nice, it gets him a VC kill as well. I'm not gonna lie, I would have preferred range, but this is good. And I think that's like 3 BCs dead for nothing, really. It's not really a good feeling. At this point, if you're MarchWaden, you can just counter push across the map here. He's actually got 4 PCs, look at this. And he has Rail Fab, and he has anti-air. I feel like he's just got everything. So... Again, I was talking earlier about how I think people need to think differently about BCs, right? Like, you can't just use them the way that you did in vanilla, because they don't really have that tankiness anymore. Instead, they have speed, right? And so this, I think, is really just kind of the wrong way to use BCs. Again, it's all in the name of map pressure, you know what I mean? You can say map pressure a million times and everyone memes on you for it, but like it really is, you know, what makes high level play. So this is going pretty well. Interceptor Fab is done for MarchWaden. Yeah, that's a really good point too, though, because like every fight has been 2 for 1 for these kind of scenes. Like obviously they're gonna win that, right? That's what I'm saying about these BCs, because they aren't tanky like they were in vanilla. Because in vanilla, I think BCs are actually a pretty decent counter to Connev Siege. They don't do well against the, they really don't do well against the missiles. In patch, they'll win a 1v1, but like in vanilla, I think they'll win like a 2v1 as well, the BCs. So like, you know, think he's definitely kind of in that mindset, but it's not going to work here. Kind of Siege is going to ignore the carrier, go straight for the support cruiser here. And the captain is building, but it's just SCs. He's not got anything else to come out. And I like it actually. It's like you don't actually know what your opponent is making. These kind of Siege could die to something spooky in the next little while, as one of them takes a horrendous amount of friendly fire. It's actually going to get it killed. Ouch. But yeah, Con of Siege pretty good. And I mentioned this in the group stage, I think, but I said kind of jokingly, like, well, he knows how to build Con of Siege already, so he's better than like 80% of players. But it's kind of true. This is a very good unit. And that should see him taking a pretty easy win here. Yeah, Captain Pink's is going to GG before the final moment. Oh no, we have him in reverse order, I think. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's very possible that Kalash Teeth was the last one, not the first one. I don't know, they didn't give me an info to TXT, so what am I to do? What is a mere bozo to do about such reckless aggression? I'm doing some file management here. Game 45? I think that's not correct. Okay. No worries, no worries. Yeah, they played a best of 90. So... oh dear. What's the build this time, eh? In this stunning Game 3. Captain Pink, it looks like, wait, do they flip factions? Oh no. Oh no, they can't do that. Oh no. It's like nobody reads the rules, man. That's fine, that's fine. Production Cruiser Refinery mode coming out here for MarchWaden. And, because I was looking at this, like, something's wrong here. Like, oh yeah, they're both Con F. Meanwhile, though, for MarchWaden, or wait, no, I already said, for Captain Pink, it's gonna be, it looks like somewhat of a rush here, but he's rushing dry again, so we don't have any tech coming. Now, one thing you've got to know about GVG, if you're going to play it apparently, is that the builds are really, really tight in GVG. Like you've got to get tech pretty much immediately, and you have a choice basically between assault ship tech and railgun tech. But if you don't get one of those, your opponent really should kill you. But if you get ref mode, your opponent should definitely kill you. So I guess it's sort of a question of like which build is worse in this case. But neither of them are very good. I don't like either of these builds right now. I've also noticed Captain Pink doesn't use eco rally points. It's kind of interesting. If we kept 45 before tech, that's really kind of a bad sign. The thing about this, I call it a dry rush because it's not going to get anything done here. So you can see like this salvager just doesn't even care. He's just going to go back to mining. These skims are going to die. Actually, maybe that was a bit hubris. He might lose this salve now, but like the carrier block is pretty good actually. He does go down in the end. These skims are all going to die, and MarchWaden, who went for ref mode first, is going to have tech before his opponent. That's like really, really bad. That just means like all the momentum that could be gained by a one PC play is just like thrown out the window. So MarchWaden, or yeah, Captain Pink now finding himself very distinctly on the back foot, I would say. Skim's going to come in here to try and find some damage on the second base. I like the attempt. MarchWaden probably wants to be building skims at this point as well, because you're going to use them in the defense probably even if you have assault ships out, and especially if your opponent has rails coming. And then it's going to be kind of an interesting fight about like trying to get on top of the rails before they can like shoot you down the line of sight. So, but yeah, like make no mistake, this is definitely a bad place for Captain Pink to be in. He's gonna run in with these skims again, but he's kind of smashing into a wall here. And again, the carry block is so real here, like he wasn't even shooting half that time. Maybe this one salve should have been pulling off the line here, make sure he doesn't die, but like... Oh, and he's gonna get dunked by the cruise missile too. Oh, he missed, okay. That's quite lucky for Captain Pink. He basically just AFK'd there and nearly lost all the skims. And can he really go for heavy rails now? Because like his opponent just makes a bunch of skims and I think he'll win. MarchWaden definitely with the economic advantage here. He can go to 2 PC and he can probably outdo him in the skim battle. That's definitely how the Assault Ship player wants to play this though. Because Assault Ship's obviously not going to do terribly well when heavy rails are on the field. But the other thing he can do is just rely on sniping these rails, but it's a little bit risky. Because obviously, you know, you don't land skill shots, then maybe you just lose, but like... Yeah, so I'd like to see MarchWaden actually building skims now. And then that forces assault rails from Captain Pink, which have, I think, less tempo on these assault ships, because they can easily be killed if you position them wrong. So... Ref mode coming out for Captain Pink though, so it looks like he is backing away. Not yet, actually, but he seems to want to. Power 2 is done for MarchWaden. Love to see him power up those missiles, of course. Power 2 is actually a pretty decent spike. Wants to go in for an attack on the main base. He's not going to get this. Obviously, there's assault ships here to defend. And indeed, he must back away. Nearly loses his skim as well. Yeah, I'd love to see him power up those missiles. Ref mode done now for Captain Pink. He is indeed moving back with that PC. And it's going to be Interceptor Feb from MarchWaden. That's a pretty standard pick. Generally, when your opponent has rails, you really want to have Interceptors as the Gaussian player to open to the Soul Ships. Unless you get really good damage done, and then you can sort of decide. But the threat of air is going to stop your opponent from pushing you. That's kind of the idea. This rail does get jumped on though, and ends up going down. He's got another one though. So MarchWaden wants to back away because this is a very good engage for the heavy rail. Wants to back away off of this one. But if you can't kill these skims, I mean, I guess he goes for it. But definitely all of the tempo is kind of thrown out the window here by Captain Pink, so... Now I'm worried he just kind of dies to air, but we'll have to see. Captain Pink actually first, though, at building that second PC, so he does have somewhat of an advantage in that regard. I think MarchWaden maybe focusing, like, tunneling a little bit too much on the defense, but you can see he's got the money for it, so that would be something that he could improve on next time. Interceptor Fab is done now. Let's see if he ends up making those. Yep, immediately. And Captain Pink gonna start teching into assault ships as well now. And it looks like a little bit of a quiet time here, but it's worth noting MarchWaden has quite an army built up here, much more than his opponent. Gonna be launching actually with 2 interceptors, so I take it all back. He's going right now. That's kind of interesting because normally you want to hold the interceptors off a little bit so that you can like get up sort of more of a critical mass. Oh, and this is kind of bad micro too here. He's gonna lose one for sure. Maybe even 2. Oh. That was close. Yeah, so the way that you micro the air units is you have them come in for the pass, you give them the target with the control box, and then right as they shoot, you turn them. So you want them to come in and like turn immediately. In fact, in this case, probably turn to the other side, to the left here. Or like, on the approach, turn to the right. Oh, what did you miss? I'm not even sure. MarchWaden's 2-0 in the series right now, but they flipped factions. I'm very mad at it. And I think I might have been watching the replays in backwards order too, so... Missile ship Fab on the way now for Captain Pink. He's probably going to be building those immediately. The question is, though, does Captain Pink just kind of die to these assault ships? Because there's a lot of them here. And the thing is, air is so good for this reason. What does he do now? Does he build anti-air? Does he build anti-ground? I mean, it's like... we're chatting, apparently. You kind of feel, you know, screwed either way. That's just, you know, what happens when your opponent is on 2 base for so much longer. And to be fair, like, Captain Pink has gotten onto... Oh yeah, good mic right there. Captain Pink has gotten onto 3 base faster, but... Oh no, they both got ref mode right now. But definitely it was MarchWaden with the advantage in that regard. And he has built another PC now. And yeah, this is just really good damage, of course. In fact, these Souths are just going back to work. They're like, this is fine. But he doesn't even care. He's gonna go for that PC now. He's gonna get it too. And obviously, when Galzian loses PCs, they're not having a good time. Corona moods. Yeah, but these assault ships can just walk over everything. It's a techless rush, man. Techless rushes really do not work. You can win with only sand skimmers, I think, really only if your opponent is not paying attention to you. Because they should be able to defend when it's only strike craft. He wants to back away now, though. He's not going to get much more value out of this. And, oh, I see. Yes. But yeah, see, I don't think he even knows about this 3rd base. He'll see it now. So probably that's where the assault ships want to go. Right now, though, he just wants to freaking end it, man. He's actually attacking this kind of carrier with assault ships. I like it. I mean, to be fair, he's... Oh, whoops. Well, that's the end of the game. He's actually got a kill thread here, so, like... He's taking it. And there you go. That's going to be the series 3-0 for MarchWaden. Nicely done. Nicely done. Except, I have a lingering suspicion that that's not the whole story. Because there's more replays here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah, so apparently there's actually... Oh my gosh, he flipped factions twice in this series. Apparently, Captain Pink actually wins game 1 and 2, but he didn't order them, so I didn't know what order they came in, so... I think we casted games 5, 4, and 3. And this, I guess, was game 2? Oh well, it's worth a watch. It's worth a watch. But please, next time, don't be changing factions during a series. Ugh. I like the color scheme, though. Looks pretty good. In the file name? I'm not sure. Maybe they do. Oh my gosh, they do.
Salvage construction complete.
Oh my god. Oh no, because look at this. A lot of the timestamps are the same. 1637 on 2 of them.
Green line confirmed.
Yeah, it is, yeah. This is kind of weird. Oh well. We'll see what happens in this one. It's gonna be ref mode first, it looks like, for MarchWaden. Keeps the BR. Probe is gonna see that.
Awaiting orders. Enemy signature identified.
Well, he's saying perhaps the timestamps can tell you, you know, which one was played first and whatever.
Depleted. Rally point designated. Move out.
Yeah, which means Captain Pink has to win these 2, right? Oh shoot. Maybe he doesn't even win these 2.
Enemy contact on sensors.
Well, see, that's what's weird, is like the Crater and the 1v1 smaller replays both have 1637 on the timestamp. So they are the same, it's weird.
Just when we were getting comfortable. Prep for displacement.
Oh well.
Standing by. This is the captain.
Well, I'll tell you what happened after this one. He changed faction on us. Just watch him like play Galzian in the next one and like play all 4 factions in one series.
Enemy base runner.
Disgusting. Oh well, we already know MarchWaden has won the series because he has 3 wins here, so like he's good. He's Gucci.
Hostile forces are pursuing an artifact. Report move to rally point and await orders.
Gonna be planking away this base runner here. Yeah, it's fine. Just as long as they know for next time, right?
Salvage your construction complete.
Just as long as they read the rules section. Although it's tricky too, because like, what if Captain Pink actually does win the series? Like, do we DQ him now? You know, like, but then, oh, how would we even know until after it was casted and like maybe he's already played the next series and stuff? It's just, it's all bad. But unfortunately, we don't have to worry about it here because it looks like MarchWaden wins.
Awaiting orders.
Retirement coming out actually on these LEDs. That's kind of curious. You almost never see this. He just wanted them, I guess, to deny the base runner, but now he's gonna retire them. Suck them back up into the carrier. You know, to each their own, right? Chomp. And assault ship tech is done, by the way, for MarchWaden. Definitely seems to be what he favors. Yeah, it's interesting, right, Discard? Just like take the LEVs out, kill the base runner, and then take them back. I don't know though. I feel like you do get value out of those 2 LEVs, but like maybe it's just not worth it.
Destination set. Reading you.
Honestly, I could buy it,
Heavy vehicle armor upgraded.
or rather sell it, because I guess that's kind of what you're doing. Rail fab and stuff from Captain Pink here. I think generally you'd want to be focusing on getting up onto your 3rd base instead. Unless you're planning on making it like a 2-base play, but that's pretty weak on Tauren.
Tracking hostile.
Yeah, that's the thing. LAVs are like so good at scouting because their vision radius is like massive.
Enemy sighted.
Base runner will extract for Captain Pink.
Eradication confirmed.
Base runner taking enemy fire.
Green line confirmed.
Sure, yeah. Last 2 games are like bonus games, right? That's a good way to think about it.
Enemy contact on sensors.
Coordinates confirmed.
Well, indeed, there it is. So far, probe is safe. Although, of course, there's a PC coming out.
Hostile strike craft
It's
eliminated.
pretty common for probes to die to a PC popping out of the carrier. Very hard to like multitask that way. Although I'm sure StarCraft 2 probes would like look at that with disdain.
Firing on hostile targets.
Here it comes, and yeah, the probe is gonna die. Ouchie, mama!
Red alert. Base runner destroyed.
New heading to fabrication facilities now.
We're about to have a probellum.
Go ahead.
Missile battery fab coming out blind now for Captain Pink. Now, to be fair, you can never see air tech on the Conif carrier, but we have learned that this light here will blink when air is being built, but not when the air tech is done. So it's unfortunate you can't actually see air tech, but
Support cruiser online.
oh, I get it, a problem.
Proceed.
Problem.
Armored assault now available for production.
Clear to move.
I like it, even if nobody else does. I like it.
Gun assembly complete.
A couple rails getting built here now, so yeah, I mean, it looks like he wants to be aggressive with this, because you don't build this much military if you're not going to be aggro a little bit.
Adjusting course.
Obviously, he knows there's no attack coming. He saw this with the probe before it went down. So I don't know. I feel like he's kind of overbuilding on military, because he could be on 3-base pretty fluently right now, which MarchWaden is. He seems to recognize this is a low tempo game, so just get up to 3-base. In fact, I'd love to have seen another production cruiser from him, but Conif Siege Tech is going to be done pretty soon, and you know that's a pretty good unit, so we'll probably just be investing into that. We actually had blind missile battery from Captain Pink here, so and Mag Excel. Look at this. I think Mag Excel for sure is a mistake here, because unless you're planning on fighting the enemy, and especially fighting enemy rails or like Conif Siege or something like in the next couple of moments, I think Mag Excel is sort of a mistake. Just because it's very expensive. Whoa. Wee. Sorry about that. And you can get up to another sport cruiser faster, I think, if you just delay it a little bit.
Awaiting orders.
And then missile battery is going to start being produced here. Whoa-wee! Hoo-wee! I'm Mr. Poopy Butthole.
Rally point designated. Waiting on route. Proceed to rally.
No, Mr. Poopy Butthole.
Awaiting missile battery.
It's a Rick and Morty reference.
Support cruiser.
Well, Con of Siege is out. Everybody's favorite rusty boy.
Railgun online. Carrier power reserves expanded. Board is green. All systems green. Cruiser ready.
Game over. Done. Shut it down. Shut it down. We don't need to see anymore.
Display missile battery in service.
I mean, like I said, you know,
Previous order and hold.
they're over 9,000 ugly. Yeah, yeah, I definitely agree. Bright neon green
New heading set.
cylindrical tubes. What is that? No, that's his team killer's the dark red and the blue here. That's just how they look, man. Neon green. You know, I always thought that the missiles came out of like these X's or something until I looked at it and realized that one of them was like pointed up and one of them was pointed straight.
Ready orders.
Anyway, I said earlier, you know, I think MarchWaden is better than like 80% of players because he knows how to build Con of Siege. I mean, it's really true. Like, this unit is very easy to use properly, and to get like the maximum value out of it, I think takes a lot of skill. But it doesn't take a lot of skill to like learn how to do it. So. And let me tell you another thing, it takes a lot of skill to know how to like not freaking just die to Con of Siege as well, so. Okay, he's gonna take a huge amount of friendly fire here though. Look at the friendly fire on Con of Siege, like it's no joke. We saw it in the last game actually, he actually killed one of his own units with it. So that's definitely one thing you gotta watch out for when you use this unit. Well, it self-heals, yeah, until you're like in the middle of a battle and you're friendly firing, right? That's what you gotta realize. Not to mention, like, he took another little bit of damage there, so like he's still not self-healing. So like, friendly fire on Con of Siege is a big thing to like get used to. What annoys me the most, though, I think, is the fact that people say that like Galzian need the assault cruiser because it's a Galzian unit, and they try to use Con of Siege as like a justification, and you're like, yeah, except Con of Siege has better stats all around and is also a siege cruiser and has EMP, so like, what the heck? So yeah, I mean, it's a pretty freaking good unit. Ouch, down goes a missile ship. That seems a little bit, unnecessary here. The barrage is also blind on the eco, which I'm not a opponent of. Seems pretty okay. Get a bit of damage done. Like, obviously, like, look, the multitasking is tasked enough that like the mining time here is huge. But it is always nice to like save the barrages for the railguns, because once you find out where they are, you can do some big damage to them. And you know, these things have a pretty freaking big cooldown timer here. It's not as good at either role though. Well, the thing is, like, the reason Con of Siege is so broken in vanilla is that it's actually better at artillery than Galzian Siege is, which is ridiculous. I think in patch it's not so though. Maybe. Because like the artillery in patch is quite a lot nerfed. And Galzian Siege just seems quite a lot more dangerous. But like in vanilla, like they're better siege units than Galzian Siege. It's crazy. The Conf crew will tell you otherwise, but like it's really true if you look at the numbers. It has less damage per shot on the, or no, more damage per shot on the barrage but less missiles, but the barrage lasts like much longer. So it actually does more damage in the end, and it's much better as like a zoning tool. Ouch. Well, this one's dead. Lasting longer is bad. Well, I think it depends what you want. The way that Con of Siege is used, really, in like high-level vanilla, I think, is that you want to engage with it, and then once you find a unit you don't want to engage with, you back away behind line of sight, and then you barrage them. And the length of the barrage means that, like, I mean, they can't, like, the rails can't get close to you. You'll just, like, blow them up. And you can't back away from the rails, because, from the kind of siege, because the barrage lasts for so long, you just, like, lock down, so. I think they're much better than Gaussian Siege in vanilla. They're just, like, stonky in vanilla, it's ridiculous. By the way, this is so many railguns, oh my gosh. Makes them worse than Arty Wars? Yeah, that's true, but you have the kind of carrier missiles, so I think you kind of cover up for it. Besides, like, artillery wars never really happen in vanilla anyway, so... You know, he actually held this off. I didn't think he was gonna manage that. Here comes the barrage, though. Does it find the rails? Yes, it does. Oh, it doesn't get any kills, though. Okay, it does get one in one. But see, this is exactly what Con of Siege should be, right? It should actually be worse at artillery if it's going to be like a brawler unit. I like that. That feels good. Although that range is still insane, but that's the same range that all the siege cruisers have got, so... Only, oh yeah, that's a thing too. Did you know in vanilla, Con of Siege has longer range than artillery? Like, I don't know why they thought it needed that too. Yikes. One thing you want to get used to doing though anytime that you can is to EMP and then barrage, because obviously then you catch things. Well, it's definitely more agile than coalition artillery, that's for sure. But yes, I think it does have more speed than Gaussian Siege as well. This is quite a good barrage right here. And this is exactly what the Conif player wants to do. They never actually want to engage the army. They just want to go for what am I trying to say? They just want to go for attrition. They want to go for picks, you know what I mean? Get a bit of damage on your opponent here and there. And you're gonna be just, oh my gosh, there's bombers. He doesn't even need this, but he's got it. But yeah, you just want to go for a bit of damage here and there, and you never actually want to fully engage in your opponent. And you certainly don't want to do this. So the bombers are not going to be good where there's anti-air, that's for sure. In fact, they don't even win here, because there's like 3 siege cruisers. Or spark cruisers, that is. Base trader! The thing is, I think the Conif player wins this too, though. Because, maybe he can kill the carrier, actually. Well, maybe. I think he keeps building Con of Siege. Bring these guys up, right? Obviously, you took out all the log modules, so base trading is always kind of rough for Salon. But then, you use this carrier just, like, kite away from him the whole time. You should definitely be running these guys away, though. And then just use the missiles on this side and the Con of Siege barrages on the other side, just whittle down the railgun number. And obviously, at this point, the eco is non-existent for KapitanPink, although he's got a lot of money with that. But anyway, any pick you get, you kind of figure is going to be permanent in this sense, right? So, I think this should be kind of an easy win here. Yeah, he definitely needs to be getting carrier power. Oh, he missed. Well, no, he actually still hit 2 of them there. Yeah, he does, actually. Oh. He can't build him, though, right? Because, look, he's still pop-blocked. What the heck? What is this? ALM spam at this stage? No, please. Because BCs would be good, but, like, you can't lose all your CUs throwing log modules out on your opponent. Please. Kind of Siege making a bit of a breakthrough here now. So what he really wants to do is EMP over here. Oh! Ouch! That's a lot of damage, oh my gosh. Now that's a lot of damage! These rails are too close, you can just overrun them and kill him. Well, you know, he's just gonna go for the carrier. Protect. Yeah, he's dead. Ouch. Kana Siege, good unit. Okay, well I thought that this meant that KapitanPink won these 2 games, but now I'm questioning it. Indeed it is, let me tell you. Savon Carrier never wants to be engaging like that. That's definitely not where it shines. We'll just let it play out. We'll see what happens. And I've still got 104 gigabytes free on my smaller hard drive. Yes. This new PC is awesome, guys. Insta skim fab. He knows what he wants. Not gonna be ref mode first this time. This is game 5, or maybe game 1. I'm not really sure. But it's the 5th one that we're casting. Whoa. Did I knock something over? Yes, a letter from my sleep specialist. Anyway. It's 4-0, yeah. Apparently they played all 5 though, so I mean we might as well cast them. The thing is, I think this is actually game 1, so like I don't want to like cast it the wrong way. How's your sleep these days? It's complicated. That's all I'll say. Definitely more difficult than I thought to like get it under control with the machine, so it's still giving me problems. I think I've got something like non-circadian going on, because like it drifts out of control over time. Yeah, sleep apnea, which is pretty rare for me because I'm not an obese 50-year-old, but there you go. Don't have any history of it in my family either, so it's quite odd. Yeah, for sure. He said it was like the most severe case he'd ever seen. So it's quite a thing. But the thing is, like, I can get my sleep under control for like a week and then it'll fall out again. So I think there's something like something drifting in like the sleep rhythm. Because like situations where I should definitely be tired, I just like I can't go to bed. You know what I mean? It's weird. And the machine doesn't help, you know, because it's like kind of this weird thing to be like have on your face and it's quite uncomfortable. So it's tricky. This is a techless rush, by the way. Not a fan of that. Like Sandskimmer rating, I don't really get what that does for you. This is something we see people do at like all the time at these kind of like mid-tier skill levels. But you really want to be avoiding this. You want to just go for one of the techs. Because you can't really get anything done with the rush until you've got some tech behind it. But you really can't get anything done by just spamming ALMs. Oh my gosh, look at this. Like, if we check the units lost tab here, what this is not factoring in is the 750 CUs of ALM that have died. Like, that's horrendous, right? So, you know. And these skims are just overrunning the base. Oh my gosh. Oh my, you're right, they're not even powered. Okay, to be fair, he actually does need to throw ALMs out to like build units right now. So there's that. What the heck? This is a dry rush and he's just like freaking destroying him. Oh no. Oh no. This is quite bad. Let me give you a secret, boys. This is not what you want to see. Ouch. Oh jeez. Well, this game's pretty much over. Dude, he's got to cancel carry production of me. He doesn't have any money at all. Yeah, he just GG'd. Ow. What a freaking thing. Gaussian OP, right? He got gifted a tier 2 sub to the channel you visited for 5 seconds. Nice. Well, that's gonna be the series. Strangely 5-0 for MarchWaden, so good plays. Let's move on, shall we?